Welcome to this how-to video. So today we're going to look at how to recreate and create thumbnails digitally. Now thumbnails can be done either by you drawing them by hand or they can be done digitally, similar to other processes. But how do we create thumbnails would be, what are thumbnails? Where do they come from? And then looking at the different layers of software we can use to recreate them. In previous videos, I've shown you how to recreate thumbnails by drawing them on the iPad. So this is going to be another way of how to recreate them by using Canva. So what is a thumbnail? A thumbnail is a section taken from your Surface designs and recreated, blown up, duplicated, turned around, manipulated to use and give you a different concept. So here are my 6 surface designs for my project. And as you can see, there's various techniques, various shapes, styles, colours, contrasts, and also how the different lines are laid. If I then click onto my thumbnails, this is the ones I've done physically. So this is where I've drawn it out of using pens and paper. And you can see different concepts arranging from the line, the squiggly line, and then you could identify it where it comes from in the surface design, which it comes from the squiggly line, which is what you want. You want to see them being mirrored or interlinked. So you want to see where you could get them from. And then if I scroll down a wee bit, here are some examples I've done digitally, and I'm going to show you that process today. In previous, I showed you how to take your thumbnail, your surface design, create a thumbnail using the Apple Pencil. But today we're going to use a software called Canva, and that allows you to create different shapes, contrasts, and alternations of it, which is quite good if you want to use that kind of software. So if we stick to our surface design and then I pop onto Canva. Now with a thumbnail, thumbnails are usually really small, and that could be derived from the name thumbnail. So you're thinking your thumb, but not that small. But today and during lessons, I'd prefer you to have your thumbnails an A5 size. So you could type in A5 document, or you could type in A5 anything, or you could analyze and create it. So then you can also go down to create design, A5 document, and then the first thing on your is name the file, which is always really good. So with that, I've also opened up my thumbnails, my surface designs, and I've opened up the thumbnails I created using Canva, and then that kind of gives you some inspiration and ideas on what we're going to do. So from that, we're going to then look at our surface design, and we're going to enhance it a wee bit. And I want you to look and see different parts that you like. So it might be the diagonal here. It could be the circle layer. Could be the complete circles. Could be the kind of oblong shaped, or it could be the kind of diagonals and squiggly lines. Then when you pop back into Canva, blank space, you then want to click on your elements. And then you'll see that I've recently used quite a lot from doing this process. But also if you click on shapes, then you can scroll down and see the range of different shapes. And you can maybe see some might match. So, for instance, I'm kind of drawn to this concept. So this wee shape here. So I'm looking at this, just this wee kind of elongated shape. And then I look down and then you can see that I've got a kind of elongated shape here. you can then, preferably with your thumbnails, you can colour them in. I'd prefer you to have them in just plain black and white. And that's just the purpose of you being able to see the process of it. So going from your surface designs, which is really colourful, really bright, and then I want you to then take apart one aspect, black and white, and then from your thumbnail you then recreate your collages. We're looking at our thumbnails today. So once you've then created this shape, so you can see I've created it, you can then place it anywhere you want. You can maybe make it bigger. You could maybe say I wanted to put it directly in the middle. You could then copy it and you could rotate it again. Rotate it 90 degrees. You could maybe make it go in the center. You could then do it again and rotate it. And you could do it again, rotating. And you can see how then I've created a completely different shape, making sure they're centered each time. Complete different shape, which is different from what we started off with. So what we started off with was elongated shape from our surface design, and then we have blown it up, changed it, adapted it, and made it into an almost squared, circled edge with curves. You could keep the textures on here, so you could keep it so it's different. And later on, when you start adding colour in your collages, you'll then see a complete different light. So that's how you recreate your thumbnails on Canva. So just kind of a recap, so we go through it. You go from your thumbnails. So you've chosen your colour palette, your inspirations, and you've done all your research. You've now collected your surface designs, and then you're now looking at different parts of that surface design and what kind of elements do you want to then take away and make your own. You can either do this digitally or physically. So physically using your tracing paper, pencil and pencil and paper, or you can use like digital software such as previous video using Procreate to redraw it, and or using Canva to then digitally create it. So this is ones I've created using Canva. And then when you go into the one I've done today, you'll see now that I've taken from this shape, drawn it, annotated it, moved it, rearranged it into a shape that looked something different. And then that could be then that concept of that could then be used later on in your fabric printing, your tie-dyeing, or any other designer process.